Hey everyone, welcome to my first video ever. So get ready. Um, I'm James. Welcome to Jimmy's Sober Curious journey. I thought it was really important to video it from day one all the way through. So I'm probably going to be doing a video one a week, just documenting what happened, what did I do, how did I feel, and like the changes within me personally, mentally, physically, and share that. And if that helps, another person, brilliant. So I this has not been like a spur of the moment thing. This has been on my mind for a good year, maybe more. After every time I drank, I had the dread, the fear, like the anxiety of, what did I do? What did I say? Even if I'd not done anything, so I was just like, so I've got to a point where I'm just like, questioning, am I done drinking? Is drinking really giving me what it was giving me when I was 15, 16? Oh, that's another story. We'll come to starting drinking when you're like a younger teenager. But I think the main part of that was the stigma behind being sober and the judgment what comes with it, because being sober always made me think, but somebody had a problem that hit rock bottom, and was that my thought process, or was what somebody else had given me? I don't know, so I sort of held that in. I'm like, have you got a problem if you say you're sober? So I'm sort of working that one out still, but I definitely had an unhealthy relationship with drinking, not so much the drinking, but more the after, like the regret, the things. I never really did anything stupid, but most of my arguments always came after drinking, and those sort of things, if you can relate. And then second, like 2 years ago, my mum got diagnosed with terminal cancer, and so then I started leaning on maybe alcohol to de-stress or to make myself no more, the whole of the reasons. And then so we go through this whole 2 years, and then unfortunately my mum passed away in June, which was so anyway, which then led me to question my own mortality. What am I doing? Why am I here? And as well, she were only 62, and I'm 40 this year. So realistically, if I got 20 years left, what do I want to achieve in 20 years? And, do I want to wake up feeling like crap, every weekend for another 20 years? And that's the sort of thought process. Who am I? What do I want? What do I want to achieve with the rest of my life? And I'm a really driven person. I like to, actually be active within my own life. But I feel for the last 2 years, I've sort of been not present within my own life. I've been in it, obviously, but, I've not really been, in it, hence why we're sort of taking this journey, I think, maybe. A chance to give clarity, like in my thought processes, not having hazy judgment, and just getting more motivation. I mean, I'm already quite a motivated person, but I wanted to make sure, but can I maximize the rest of my life by doing this? So they're my sort of basic whys. I'm sure we'll delve into those a little bit more as we go through the videos. So my story of how I got to this point is, so it's just been Christmas, and I'm originally from Barnsley, or like a small village just outside of Barnsley in South Yorkshire. And like every year we do a pilgrimage back north to the village to celebrate Christmas with our families, and I did it again this year. So goes home, had a great Christmas day, and then we get to Boxing Day, the big drinking social calendar event. So I heads off down the local working men's club, down in the Pints of Coors, and next minute I'm twirly princessing round the working men's club, talking to all the random people what I've not seen in like 20 years, making new friends, doing the whole shebang, making a phone call to my best mate. My other best mate was there with me, and basically taking pictures, sending them to my sister-in-law, and then obviously And by this time, I'm actually home by 7 p.m. It's not a late night, like I started early, finished early. And I woke up at like 8 in the morning, and I got the regret, the fear, the anxiety of what did I do, what did I say. I ran through my messages and were like, the moment when I'm like toe curling, like cringe. I didn't actually do anything wrong at all. Like I wasn't rude, wasn't nasty. I was just talking to people. But that amount of like feeling what you get where you're just like so internally disgusted with yourself. I'm just like, oh, it's got to be a different way. And then I sort of mulled it over, and then I'm like, right, I'm going to do dry January. And then I'm like, but why just January? If this is how you're feeling, why would you just do it for January? Why is this not a lifestyle change? It's not a diet. I want to change everything. Yeah, change everything. I mean, like that big statement, I'm just changing everything. But no, like my favorite ever quote, not ever, maybe, up there, top 5, is if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Meaning you've got to change something for something to change. Well, that's how I read it. So then that got me thinking, laid in bed, hungover. So in a year, if I got drunk every weekend, and woke up with a hangover every weekend, and sort of sacrificed the Sunday, when you lay on the sofa dying, ordering Uber Eats 14 times. If I got rid of all them days, that would give me 412 hours. Now, if we do an 8-hour day, not like a working thing, 412 hours extra in the year. That's like 17 days. Yeah, 17.3. So if I got 17.3 more extra days for 2023, how much more could I achieve personally? Personal growth, I've got so many plans what I want to achieve for this year, and to have an extra 17 days to achieve them in, or to experience, or to whatever you want them to be. That was my jaw-dropping moment where I was just like, oh my God, and then I maybe worked out potentially how many days I've lost on the sofa on a Sunday, which, if you do 8 hours, times how many years you've been drinking, times how many weekends you've been out, it's quite a few. So yeah, which led me to this point, and it is now New Year's Day morning. I didn't go out. So I can safely say this is the first ever time in my adult life I have not woken up absolutely spandangled, drunk, with waiting for the pub to open to go back for the Bloody Mary, or for the second top-up pint, or basically just dying on the sofa and ordering Uber Eats 17 times. So I'm pretty chuffed with myself, if I'm being honest. It was nice. So yeah, this is my first video. I hope I've given you a little outline, a bit of a ramble, and yeah, thanks for sticking with it if you're on till the end, because this is the first time speaking to camera, and yeah, can't wait to follow my journey.